Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel about ranged killers lethal add-ons. Why do I do this video? Well, first of all, lethal add-ons on ranged killers are a little bit weird, but that's a good thing. I'll come to that in a second. And we have 4 add-ons that are completely different from each other, so I thought it might be worth explaining them a little bit, because for that very same reason they are very over and underestimated by certain players. This video is not for judging the add-ons or putting them in a tier list, but more to explain how they work and how you maybe can use them in different ways. Also, yes, I said the Trickster add-on would be the worst one of all 4 of these. I still stand to that. You don't have to agree on me on that one, but yeah, let's get through them. So first of all, let's have a look what the add-ons actually do. Huntress Iridescent head lets her down survivors with 1 shot, therefore she only can bring 1 headshot and there's no way to increase that number again, for example with the military belt. The Iridescent head will set it to 1. If you use another belt add-on to bring the headshot number up again, you will be disappointed because you burned that add-on without any reason. Second, we have the Deathslinger's Iridescent coin, allowing you to expose survivors if you hit them with your Redeemer on a range of 12 meters or more, meaning you have to be quite a sharpshooter to get this, but that's okay. We'll look into that in a second. The important part is only the person that is speared is exposed, so you can pull them towards you, and as long as they are speared, they stay exposed, so you hit them and they go down. Third one in the list is Trickster's Iridescent Photocard. We had a look at that at the Trickster guide already, but just a kind of reminder, if you hit a survivor with 4 or 5 knives, you actually grant the exposed status to them and you can down them with your baseball bat. And last but not least, the Garden of Rot from Addons allows you to send crows to survivors, as usual, and if they complete the repel action, they get exposed for 4 seconds. Now, let's have a look into all of these and how we can maybe use them. There are pros and cons of these, and let's get started on Huntress again. Huntress Iridescent head is very easy to use and understand because it's 1 shot, 1 down, and range doesn't matter, which is very nice. On the other hand, you only have 1 headshot, as I explained in the explanation of the add-on, and if survivors are aware of it and they are aware that they only need to dodge 1 headshot, because then you don't have another one, well, they might reconsider playing it a little bit different and only dodge that 1 headshot, and then you are basically useless, because you also only run on 4.4 meters per second, which is not the best during chases, but you can compensate that by bringing the other Iridescent add-on, the Soldier's Putty, that allows you to run on 4.6 meters per second if you don't carry any headshots. And also this helps you a lot on maps that don't have lockers everywhere, like Cold Inform maps for example, or any other open field maps. Of course, there are also other ways to play that add-on, like combining it with the Wooden Fox. We did that a while ago as a request of Dexter. I linked the video somewhere here, just click on it if you want to see it. It's kind of funny and kind of destroying. It probably also goes against 1 or 2 human rights, so I wouldn't recommend to play this on a frequent base, but once in a while it's kind of fun. Next one, we have the Deathslinger's Iridescent coin. Good advantage on this one is you have the moment of surprise on your survivors, because this add-on is actually empowering your ability and not limiting it in another way like Huntress add-on does, because normal shots within the 12 meter range are still normal shots, so you have no downside on this one. But if you get the 12 meter or more shot, survivors are exposed. Even if survivors are aware of this add-on, it's kinda difficult to play against it as a solo survivor, because yeah, you can dodge a shot, maybe you can dodge a second, but at some point you will hit them as a slinger. You don't need to go to reload to a locker like Huntress needs to. The best play to counterplay this as a survivor is the knowledge that only the person that is speared is exposed. So if you are 2 players in a team or more, and one of you is healthy and the other one gets speared, you just try to block between the speared survivor and the killer and take the hit for the speared survivor, because you are not exposed. So there are indeed strong counterplays to that add-on, and also another very important counterplay are the objects on the map. Therefore range matters, and that makes it a partially difficult add-on to use, but you can combine it, for example, with the purple chain that allows you to hook the survivors for 10% longer, or you can also combine it with the cigar that's actually allowing you to be stunned for less if a survivor breaks free, so you can actually chase them up again. Next one is the Iridescent Photocard on Trickster, and we already went through that in the Trickster guide, so I'll make this a little bit faster. It's easy to use, empowers your ability but not limiting you, similar to Deathslinger. Even if survivors are aware, there is not much a single survivor can do, except they are around a strong loop like Shack. That could be a terrible situation for you as Trickster. But if it fails, you also can just throw more knives at them and down them that way. Expose duration can take ages, especially if you hit them 5 times and take the bracelet with you, Ripper's bracelet. The Ripper bracelet is a green add-on that allows you to extend the time the acceleration meter needs to decrease by 3 seconds, which makes it even stronger. I still would recommend you to use the Bloody Boa instead, but it's up to you. So yeah, it's very situational to use. You shouldn't use it on open fields because you're still a 4.4 meter per second killer, which is kinda slow for these chasers. And somewhat strong loops can even help weak survivors to dodge your power in this case. So yeah, at some point you maybe just want to throw knives. Last but not least, we have the Garden of Rot. Garden of Rot is kinda easy to use and set up. You can actually plan and prepare it. Similar to Trickster and Slinger, it empowers your ability and is not limiting you in a different way. Big advantage compared to the others is that you are a 4.6 meters per second killer. So yeah, that makes a lot of difference already. And you also have a lot of amazing add-ons to combine this with, so you can even get more value out of Garden of Rot. For example, you can use it with the Iridescent Feather. The Iridescent Feather gives you undetectable as long as your ability is on cooldown. Being undetectable while casting crows from all over the map is kinda scary. Also, you can combine it with the Severed Hands that allow you to actually hit more than one survivor with one crow, which can also cause some trouble. But she also has some downsides, of course, because you have to. So first of all, the exposed status can be dodged by survivors by entering lockers instead of doing the repel action, because entering a locker gets rid of the birds, but you didn't finish a repel action, so you don't get exposed. And the second part is the exposed window is very short, as it's only 4 seconds. 4 seconds is not that much. Trickster has a much longer window, Slinger has in theory an ideal window, and Huntress doesn't need an exposed window because if you hit and then they're down. It can be difficult to pull off sometimes, but especially if you combine it with another add-on, it can be kinda good. Of course, there are more options to combine these add-ons with other add-ons of the killers and also certain perks. The Wooden Fox Eerie Head build I linked earlier in the guide is like a super painful build linked to it, which is terrible for many survivors to deal with. And yes, even as said in the Trickster guide, the Iridescent Photocard would be unplayable. Technically, none of these add-ons is unplayable. We also pulled up some good games on Iridescent Photocard already. In my opinion, it's still the worst of these 4 lethal add-ons, and you have much better choices to pick on Trickster than the Photocard. But of course, there are situations where you can actually pull it off quite good. Odds recently, for example, made his random perk streak challenge, where he pulled the Trickster and a somewhat decent build, and then he rolled for an add-on. He got Iridescent, and therefore he used the Photocard and won this game in a very brutal way, even without a second add-on, which is kinda impressive, not gonna lie. I wouldn't have been able to pull that off, I will admit that. I, in his position, would have used the other Eerie add-on, the Death Throws compilation, to save some reloads on lockers, because the Death Throws compilation refills your knives after your main event. So I would have aimed for full main event and hit as many survivors as possible, as precise as possible, down them, and get as many main events as possible to down the next survivors. But hey, different minds, different playstyles. Make your choice if you want to play these add-ons or not. Some of these are of course more limited than others, but they're all good in certain ways, and there are always good ways to use all 4 of them. So yeah, be creative and show me what you can do. Thanks for watching. If you liked that or found it helpful, please leave a like and see you in the next video. Have a good one.